It's DC101. I'm Mike Jones here with the show-off, Mr. Dolph Ziggler. ¿Cómo está, amigo? How you doing this morning?
See? I am doing great this morning. Fun time around DC promoting WWE. You got Raw tonight.
We have a pretty good city going on here. Now, should we talk about wrestling first or comedy? Because I gotta say, you have two of the coolest jobs in the world, man. You got a pretty unbelievable life going on.
I'm very lucky and very busy, which is as good as it gets in entertainment. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Or should we talk about the Indians' first pitch? Because I want to know how you did on that.
Well, that was a dream come true as a kid, and I made sure I didn't zip it over the plate, and but I threw a pitch that went to the catcher and into his mitt, so everybody wins. And then also clothesline slider immediately afterwards. Okay. So it was fun for everyone.
Because the other day I talked with Aaron from AWOL Nation, and he said he's going to do a Cubs game in a couple weeks. And I just told him, I said, dude, when you go out there, you just got to relax and don't go up from the hill. Just lob it in there. That's the secret. You just got to be easy.
But there's no fun in that. You got to have the excitement of, can I throw it? I mean, I wasn't trying to break any records with speed or anything like that, but I just wanted to I threw it regular, great form. That's all that matters.
Of course, great form. All right, so comedy. How are things going with the stand-up shows, dude? I saw you headline something just the other day.
Yeah, I was at Kowloon's Restaurant in Saugus, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston Airport, and we had two shows Friday night, and each show had about half wrestling fans in there and half just patrons coming to see a comedy show. So it went well. One was pretty close to sold out and one was sold out. So it did well for everybody. The shows went well. I was at the Laugh Factory on Wednesday. We did a couple of minutes for something we were taping with Total Divas. So it's more and more shows, and I'm very fortunate so far to every time I do a show, it leads to another show down the line. So it's slow and steady. It's been a long process of a couple years of writing and just baby steps in there. A couple shows last year, and I'm already on like 6 this year. So.
Oh, that's great. So when you're on the road, I mean, you guys are out, 300 plus days a year now?
Yeah, it's over 300 live events a year, plus charity work, plus appearances, you name it. And it's really hard to find a day. So I took my one day off last week and applied it to coming into Boston a day early to get those shows in. So.
And instead of flying home, you went to Boston
instead.
I
think except for about 12 hours in the last 4 weeks, I have not been home.
Oh.
I just called my dad. I go, can you pay my water bill? Because my water might be shut off when I get there. And it was going on a third month of not getting paid. So
you're like, I want to wash my clothes and take a shower, Dad,
I'm good
when I get
for
home.
It. Yeah, but just...
So how are you writing stuff? Like, is it all your road experiences? Or because I haven't seen any of your stuff on YouTube or anything.
Yeah, it's... well, I didn't want a bunch of stuff to... Like, people do 500 open mics before they go do a show, before they do a special, anything like that. I've gotten 3 chances to do open mics, and everyone goes, can I come see it? No, this is where I'm supposed to suck and work on my stuff, and usually it'll be my hair tucked under a black beanie. Hey, here's some guy named Nick doing some stand-up. See if you like it, see if you don't, because I don't want wrestling fans just laughing because it's me, and so I got to see what works and what doesn't. So that's why the last couple times it was, okay, I'll kind of let them in. I've tried a few different things. Let's see, and I'm definitely not polished for another 5,000 more tries. So it was get them in the building, get them there, get them to check it out, and it went really, really well. So I don't really, this isn't one of those storytellers things. This is, I'm just some guy who goes to Chipotle, who works with WWE, who goes on dates, and they usually end hilariously bad. So.
And when you go and do these things and the wrestling fans do come, are they yelling out things? Are they pretty respectful?
They're very respectful, but also it's fun because it gives me a little bit more material to do. I was on a show with a couple different guys, and they had some different material, and just the colorful fans that were there all wearing their wrestling shirts gave these guys instant fun to have a little crowd work, and it also gave me an end where I can do a little bit of WWE-oriented jokes once I let the audience know what WWE is if they don't know.
Okay, and are you more nervous hitting the stage to do a comedy show? For how long did you go up there? Like half an hour now?
No, I got up. I did 10 minutes. Okay. I think on Friday, and before that, the most I had done was a 6 or 7, something like that.
10 minutes is still a lot, though.
It's a long slow ticking clock when you're up there. But it's it's fun. It's great. 10 minutes now, I think. And it's not even close to polished, but it went really well, so that's it.
Are you more nervous walking out on a comedy stage?
I did. The first time I ever did a show, we had just done WrestleMania, and I did a tag match. It was myself and Big E versus Team Hell No, and I had the most fun. It was the easiest match to do. I had a blast. It was in front of 70-something thousand people. 3 weeks later, I was doing my first stand-up set in front of 60 people in the back of a coffee house. and I was shaking going up to the microphone. Went, okay, don't forget that first sentence. Don't drop the mic. Don't forget the first sentence. Don't drop. And it was so nerve-wracking, and it still is really nerve-wracking. But it's kind of getting to be that excited, nerve-wracking, like, oh, this is gonna kill them. They're gonna laugh really hard when this happens. But it's still. It scares the hell out of me. Just like wrestling, my first ever match, I was scared to death to get tagged in. So that's how it goes.
Are the other superstars and divas sick of you practicing your routines on them?
I've been practicing since I was 5 years old. I would say ex-girlfriends are sick of me practicing routines. And the fact that I think my mother and all ex-girlfriends said, you can't turn that off. Like, it's a problem, but it's also good when you get to talk on stage.
Very cool. All right, so let's talk about you go from Kent State from being one of the best wrestlers there.
All-time winningest wrestler, not one of them. But
okay.
Yeah, no, that's good.
The best wrestler.
I mean, I think it's been surpassed by now, but I used it to get into WWE, and it all worked out.
You know what? Keep that on your business card.
Yeah.
That's most important.
Yep.
So how do you go from Kent State to getting in WWE? Because did they come to you? Did you come to WWE? Did you have a plan maybe that you were thinking amateur wrestling Olympics or anything like that?
Several of my friends wanted to go and be coaches in Big Ten or try out for the Olympics. My goal from early on, well, from 5 years old, I wanted to be a WWE superstar. But around high school, I started to realize I'm pretty good at wrestling. I'm not one of the more giant guys. Mm-hmm. So if I go to college, it would purely be to break records just so I can show that on a resume to WWE, get a handshake and say, hey, I'm one of these guys who's loved this business since I was 5 years old, and I broke some records, so I have legit street cred we can kind of add in. And because of breaking those records, I got a chance for a tryout. Mm-hmm. It was all set in motion. My plan was to graduate Kent State, go to Arizona, live in my aunt and uncle's guest bedroom, go to Arizona State University's law school, and go to wrestling school at night.
Interesting.
Looking back, that would have been impossible because law school would have been 19 hours of my days. But and
wrestling school too.
Yeah,
I mean, that takes
even
forever.
If it's a couple hours, it would be for years and getting going. And we got, I was about a month out of starting my fall semester at Arizona State, and I got the tryout with WWE, and the rest is history.
Very cool. And when you guys are hanging out, because I know a lot of the other guys have amateur backgrounds, who's the best shooter?
I'm trying.
Let's take Brock out of that because I think Brock might overpower everyone.
Yeah, I wouldn't. He overpowers them. It'd be fun to roll around. I used to roll around with Bobby Lashley back in the OVW days, and it was just you could feel the power that if he felt like throwing you out up in the air, he could. But Swagger's great to roll around with. I'm trying to think who else off.
Cody can too.
Cody can roll a little bit. Randy thought he could. No, we screw around sometimes, but it's a. Yeah, Cody's pretty good at rolling around. I'm trying to think of who else. Swagger's the tough one to take down. He's strong, and but he also got to be All-American by wrestling all the heavyweights, and he's like a lean, tall guy. So he had a nice little loophole.
He had the muscle and not the girth.
Yeah, so it was a nice little loophole for him.
All right, so when you're starting out in WWE, Dolph, that you get through OVW, you get up there. You had some ups and downs, being the caddy, being Mr. Spirit Squad and everything. Got you some exposure, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, do you have both those outfits at home?
No.
You did not get to keep those?
No, I did. I got rid of them.
Oh, I would have those hanging in the hallway.
That's cool. That's the difference between the two of us. Both of those times, I was told what that character was the day before it started or whatever. I was crushed, literally crushed. I go, I broke all these records. They told me, I look great. I got a short, flat top. Like, I'm going to be this all-American wrestling guy that, can go with anybody. And it's like, hey, you're a male cheerleader, which is fine. It has nothing to do with me. So those bum me out. I don't really keep too much stuff anyway. So I don't have the gear. I don't have any of that stuff.
But see, you say short, flat top, and you got kind of a bad gimmick at first.
Yeah.
Stone Cold had a short, flat top. Kind of a bad gimmick at first.
Right,
so
sure.
You're following along a pretty good path, I'd say.
Yeah. No, I got, some people don't get a chance for one opportunity. And if you do, maybe, like I told myself, if this is the caddy and that's it, do to the best of your ability. They gave me another chance. Hey, if it's going to be a cheerleader and this is it, damn it, be the best cheerleader you can be. And then I got taken off the main roster, and I go, okay, give them a reason that they need you to be called up. And I worked on every possible thing you can have. I could wrestle Kali, I could wrestle Hornswoggle, I could tell a story with a broomstick if I have to, and I have on several occasions. The broom is 2-0 versus me also.
And then now, though, as the show-off, I think things are going pretty well the last couple years. Had some gold around your waist. Had some pretty good rivalries and everything going on. Some nice ladies to accompany you as well.
Yeah, several ladies. It's almost catching up to my real life, but it's no. I've been very lucky, and I'm always begging for more. Give me more work. Give me another challenge. Give me some other reason to push myself. And I love being with WWE. I love doing what I do. I love trying to outdo myself. And I live for the challenge of being put in another spot and go, here's 30 seconds. Make it work. Damn right I will.
Oh, and not just the ladies. Also, Big E was your arm candy for a little while, too.
Big E. He's. I'm surprised they let him take those straps down. You know.
You know what? I gotta say, ever since he and Kofi and Xavier did New Day, I just think it's that thing that clicked for him. It was, trying the different things out, going back down for a little while, but all of a sudden you start clapping. You say yes or no.
Right.
You do anything, and it's just that one thing that catches on and gets you over and gets you to that next level.
I love that, ringing a bell like a dog salivating is the thing that gets you to the next level. But no, I love those guys. Woods came up by himself, never had a shot to do anything. He got beat up, I think, in his first couple days. E was with me, and we were in a group of 3, and we still lost every night, so it wasn't really that full-on. Kofi, awesome. We've probably had 1,000 matches together. One of my favorite opponents of all time. I love everything that he does. And finally, those 3 guys, the key is getting to talk, honestly. Yeah. The clap, great. People are doing it before the show starts. I'm so glad that's catching on because those 3 guys are great guys and hardworking guys, and they finally do have that click to where you know what their deal is, you know what their message is, you have their different characters, but it's hard to get that. It's hard to get a minute of mic time, and they got it, and they've killed it every single time, so I'm very happy for those guys.
It's also the same with guys like Fandango or Damian Sandow, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. They have that thing, but they just need to talk, like you're saying, and get that one thing that'll put them over there and get them up to the next level. Yeah,
you could be one of the best wrestlers. You could be the best wrestler. You have anything if all we know is, hey, that one guy puts on good matches, and he says it says show off on his trunks, and he says show off. Okay, I guess it's a show off, but what's the deal? It's got to be like, here's the deal. Since 5 years old, I was a wrestling fan. I used to jump over the hood of the car onto my back on the ground to get my back prepared. I live for this. I live to outdo myself. If you get one of those, everyone goes, oh, that's a different layer. I can get behind this guy as a human being also, so we got to root for him.
And it also sucks when you see guys that are on that next level. Tyson Kidd just got there with Cesaro, and then he has his injury now. Or Daniel Bryan getting back into things after, 9 months on the shelf? And full well how injuries can just derail things and just take you right out again.
Absolutely, yeah. And another 2 is Daniel, understandably, but Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, 2 of my favorite, absolute favorites from the WWE, and not really getting to talk, not really making a connection, and then bam, they're in a team, and everyone loves it, and it all works out, and finally they're getting a little bit of the respect that they deserve. Those 2 guys live wrestling when they were their own entity now, and then being in a tag team, those guys not just are great at what they do, they live. If they're not at work, they're watching the network, they're watching other ways to, and Cesaro and I are usually throwing old Bob Newhart stand-up references back and forth, maybe even a little Rickles or something. Yeah, so it's those guys are so great, and they have these great characteristics that you usually don't know about. You just know, oh, these guys are great wrestlers in the ring, and once you get to that little wrinkle where they get a little talking time, Tyson loves cats, and I mean,
which is strange, but that's his thing.
But it's
that's
something.
Cool.
All we knew was Tyson was a good wrestler. Now we know he has this. He has these cats at home. He's a jerk. He's kind of a jerk to his wife. He wears headphones to the ring like MMA fighters. Like he doesn't care about anything else. And all of a sudden, you have all these characteristics instead of just some wrestler, and that changes like that. And all of a sudden, everyone knows you.
Have you heard anything about, I saw that his recovery is going to be, about a year or so?
I think it's a really long time. I don't have the details, but I know neck injuries are scary. That is what holds together your entire body for this business, and you don't want to screw around with anything. So I think it is somewhere around 10 months to a year, and hopefully he's good to go after that, and hopefully he's safe. But most importantly, it's about rehabbing and getting his neck to be in perfect shape.
Number one, so,
absolutely.
Getting through this. Wrestling is taking a back seat to everything. And have you heard anything about Daniel with his recovery?
No,
or anything?
I actually haven't.
It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet. We've seen him a couple of times. He was at the Elimination Chamber, and he was presenting the Intercontinental title to the winner, and he seemed in good spirits, and I didn't really want to ruin it by asking, and maybe it's none of my business. So he seems to be in good spirits. hopefully he's rehabbing along too.
Okay, you said Elimination Chamber. How did you guys feel? You have Elimination Chamber, and then 2 weeks later, Money in the Bank. I mean, those two of the toughest pay-per-views of the year.
Yeah.
So how does your body react before, and then afterwards, how did you feel, and how'd the other guys react to it?
Yeah, those are, you could, even if you were just in regular matches, to have those big matches a couple weeks apart, but me, I was thrown through a couple different cage doors. I was thrown up against the wall, onto the metal, and then comes the ladders when it's time for, to get hit with ladders, fall off them. It's a real test to see whose body can hold up just in a 2-week span, let alone, I'm afraid of heights, so I hate that stuff.
Yeah. And be ready for Raw the next night
and
on
then
each too.
Raw the next, both of those, I think the Money in the Bank ladder match, I think I got busted open a little bit also, and I was like, and even when I headbutted Sheamus 2 months ago, busted open 15 stitches. The next night I was doing 15 minutes on Raw just because there's no rest. There's no time off. I live for it, and safely, obviously, but it's to give to these fans, and they go, why isn't Dolph here? No, I'm here to deliver. We're here to put on a great show for you
came
guys.
to buy the Dolph t-shirt. I want to see Dolph out there.
One way or another, you're going to get it.
What's it like? Tell me about being at the top of the ladder, being so close to the briefcase, and then taking a fall. I mean, do you just look at that and you're like, oh, damn, here we go?
If you think about it and talk about it, you start to freak out. But if not in the moment, you're just thinking, what can I do to make this match better? How can I get up there? What can I do to stand out in this match? And when I get an opening, how can I take it? And I live for just challenges like that to make it not only stand out, but have it. I want to win.
Is it fair to say the Money in the Bank cash-in and Survivor Series last year were your two biggest moments professionally so far?
Professionally, for sure. For sure. Like, to beat a handful of guys who are at the top of their game and have...
And nobody gave you a chance.
Yeah, and have people's jobs depend on it. And usually it's Super Cena to save the day, and somehow he was out and we had to look to something else. And I love being in positions like that. I love finding a way to win. And so it's not just... there's Cena, he's down, but he'll probably be back in a little bit and he'll be okay. And it's like, oh, it's Dolph. He usually loses. Every time I get knocked out, it's almost the end, and it's almost this Rocky story to where you believe it, and you steal a couple wins and you move on the right thing. And then still Hunter gets involved and lays you out, and you go, okay, now he's done. What? And I love that character. If I don't get to talk about it, unless it's on the WWE app, which doesn't exist anymore, I at least get to exude that in the ring, that I won't give up because... I'll put my body through everything and more than anyone else in this business, and there's a reason people cheer for the guy who loses 95% of the time.
All right, two things that we got to talk about before I let you go, Dolph. Number one, we have Monday Night Raw tonight at the Verizon Center.
Of course.
And you make sure you get your tickets, of course, at Ticketmaster.com. And the other thing, you guys are going to be in Tokyo this weekend for Beast in the East.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view. I guess not pay-per-view, but event on WWE Network.
Network special.
Which is weird because it's at 5:30 in the morning here.
Yeah.
So are you going to be on here time, or what do you think?
I am never on the time of the time zone that I'm in. It doesn't matter. And I don't warm up. I don't stretch. I don't do anything. I just find out what I got to do, get in the zone mentally, go deliver out there, and then go pass out in the back somewhere. Yeah.
You're like, where's my hotel room? Where's the pillow?
It's time to pass out. We'll figure it out tomorrow.
We'll start it all out tomorrow. All right, Dolph Ziggler, I appreciate you coming down. Ticketmaster.com. Get your tickets for tonight at the Verizon Center. Monday Night Raw, always a great time. So I'm looking forward to seeing you and all the other superstars of Diva. Dolph, thank you very much, my friend.
You got it, man. Great live crowd. Tickets start at $20. All your favorite superstars. It's going to be a blast.
Thank you, brother.
Got it.